Hello, how are you? Welcome to episode 7. Now, we're having to do an extra intro to this because I'll be honest with you, we didn't do a proper intro on episode 7.
I honestly don't know how we're going to discuss this.
I'll explain. I kindly, I think, brought in my pears from my odd box.
Correct.
For the gang.
Which was sweet. It was a nice treat,
nice,
a nutritious treat.
Yes, I brought them. I thought, let's have some pears when we're between podcasts. Now, Helen ate one in a ladylike fashion, and then she sneezed. Andrew, am I getting this right? She sneezed with a mouthful of pear.
Yes.
And the pear ended
And your
up
mouth is open when you sneeze.
not necessarily
In
compulsory.
general.
And then the pear ended up on her face, but mainly in her eyebrow.
I don't know what happened.
And so-
like the pear tickled something inside of me.
And so we then went to intro. It hit the microphone, I think, or your hand. No, you hit your hand.
It looked like I was high-fiving
And there was
my pear back
flashback.
into
Yeah. And then I tried to start the podcast, but I was so distracted by how much stuff was in
because
your
I have such a peary complexion that the pear, it was really hard to identify what was pear, what was bogey, what was just skin.
It was a nightmare. So anyway, we didn't do a proper intro, so this is it. Welcome to episode 7. It's as disgusting as it sounds. I hope you enjoy it.
I think it gets classy after that.
It
It doesn't.
No.
Well, we had Darren Harriott on.
Darren
We
Harriott.
had such a good chat with him. It just
said-
kept on going.
I just said we had Darren Harriott on. Also, the chat peters out at one point, it fades, and then you can get the rest of the chat on Patreon, and it's patreon.com/TrustyHogs. Yes, you can find us there, and please do, because the rest of the chat with Darren was really interesting. And yeah, let's.
And I don't sneeze at all in the extras. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know.
We can only hope. Okay,
I think
so
it's
enjoy.
sneezy day.
It's episode 7.
Yay!
Through the fog, step forth the trusty hogs. Yeah, you're gonna give them your problems and they will solve them. Or maybe they won't, and that's your problem. They'll have guests and Andrew White on the tech. Oh, it's Helen and Catherine as the trusty hogs. Trust the trusty hogs, or maybe not.
Catherine!
Oh my god! Jesus! What is the need?
Just that lack of preparedness, and I am leading this episode.
What is the need?
So that was amazing.
What do you have in your eyebrow?
Oh my god, I sneezed. Is it pear?
I think it's pear.
I can't see it.
There's pear in your eyebrow. Other eyebrow. There's 2 pieces and one on your nose.
How did I do that?
See on your nose? See in the middle of your nose bridge here? Yeah, and then
It's a bit of pear.
let's see your eyebrow. Just another little bit there. Yeah. Yeah, you got all the pear out of your
damn it.
eyebrow.
Tell you what, if you're eating a pear and you sneeze, you will get splashback. I thought I'd contained it all. Turns out it wasn't contained because I thought there was nothing coming out, but it went straight back up to. That reminds me of when I got so drunk. I was chatting with this guy at a party, and it was that level of drunk where you're like, oh, we're really connecting.
Yeah.
And we're like kind of like opening about our childhoods, but in the way that you do in your early 20s, where you're like, this means we're in love.
Yeah.
Instead of it being
Trauma
just like
bonding means we must have sex. Yes,
100%.
please.
And then I was so wasted that I was like really close to vomit time. But I also
Yeah.
was old enough to believe that I was in control of when vomit time came.
Sure.
And we were chatting and I coughed and I was like trying to cough like a little like a baby bird. So I was like, to put my hand up, I vomited with such force into my hand. I high-fived my own sick and it straight back into my face.
Helen, no.
And you know when your brain goes, the show must go on. So I continued with the conversation while just like wiping myself down. Like, oh, so you're from Suffolk. Like,
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Because it wasn't like a chunky sick. It was a very liquidy,
Helen,
liquidy
stop
vibe.
it. Also, just to be clear, you thought you were getting really deep and you'd gotten as far as you were from Suffolk.
No. Just to be clear. I had got deep. I had been like, my dad's never hugged me and like really getting into it. And then obviously he hadn't had a chance yet. Because like when you're talking about your childhood, it's all well and good until they start talking about their childhood. And it's like, we're not done yet. And it was just, I don't know. I think it's such a rare thing to high five one's own sick. It kind of feels meta.
Yeah, that is a profound twist on what is truly disgusting and basic AF.
I know,
but proud of you. Proud that you've grown to the woman you have become.
But then to get to 30 and do it with pear.
You're just sneezing some pear on your eyebrows. You've made it. Hello. Did Hollywood call? She's a star. She's ready to go. She's a fully formed lady.
You know what? It makes me super relatable and kooky. I think that's why the people are just sort of like, Helen's so relatable because like we've all sneezed pear into our face.
Right.
And that's what we want from our female comedians. Like we don't want us to be ambitious or strong or together, even though we are together. We've got our shit together. We like to joke that I don't. I fucking do.
Where'd you get the pear? From my odd box.
From
That's
your
right.
odd box.
What? I have.
But if we say that we're together, people will freak out being like, how do we connect with them? So we've got to do things like, how do we walk down street without anything awful happening? And we have to be pathetic.
Right,
So that's why I
stand-up's
sneezed up that pear. My stand-up's really good.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Really
that's
funny
my
stuff.
main vein of stand-up at the moment. It's like, but like, what is life, guys? Because all my friends are getting married, and
But the thing
I'm not.
But the thing
I'm not, and I don't understand it. Because like, what even is
easy.
adulting?
Yeah, you're right. That's, I mean, pretty good stuff. Unfortunately, that is an entire brand of American stand-up comedy. Oh, she's being a little shady.
Everyone's brand of
She's a
stand-up
shady
comedy.
little bitch. She's a shady little bitch.
Just confused as to like how life works.
It's episode 7 of TrustyHogs.
Is it actually?
Well, I think so, but we've gotten the numbers wrong so many times.
I know.
Is it 7, Andrew? Oh, the man checked. Yes, episode 7.
That's really sad. That is so sad that we had to check with Andrew.
Check, you asked. You
I
asked
know.
me.
Andrew, are you eating another orange?
We need another one. This is my
Don't you dare shame him!
No, I want him to eat it. I want him to eat it. I'm
my
glad.
first one.
Oh,
It's my
that's
first
good.
one.
No, my point
Andrew,
is...
little hint here. If you feel a sneeze coming on whilst you're eating that orange, don't put your
Close
hand
your
up.
mouth.
Just let it go straight out over the
I don't
laptop.
have hay fever because it's not real.
Oh my God, Helen's gonna flip the lid. So Andrew doesn't think a hay fever is real. Both Helen and I have hay fever, so we beg to differ.
And I am what I'd call an OG hay fever sufferer, as far as I had it before everyone got it. And like dyslexia, you know how like there's people who have it, and there's people who suddenly got it in their 20s and got a free laptop, but it's like, but you managed to get into uni, so it's clearly not that bad. It's the whole
Do you
thing.
know that people with dyslexia can get into uni because you can be intellectually completely...
I know, but
great?
I always assume that everyone's dyslexia is the same as mine, which means academically cannot perform, full stop.
Oh, okay.
That's just why I
Oh,
assume, like, no one can read. How do they read the exam questions? How?
I mean, a lot of... Okay, you know what? We don't have time. This is episode 7.
How?
Welcome to episode 7 of TrustyHogs. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back.
Remember, when you're sneezing or you feel a vomit coming on, hands down, let it out, straight out.
Wow.
Straight out.
I mean, it depends on the context and maybe go to something that will receive
Carry a
it.
tissue.
Yeah. Also, if you're Helen, carry a tissue at all times.
I know, but I
also-
was making a point with a sneeze.
You were, but also it's kind of cute watching you pick out pear out of your eyebrows.
Eyebrow and nose.
Yeah, you're kind of adorable.
And
Is
for
that cute now? Is that cute?
people watching on YouTube, look to see if there's any more pear on my face. If you find a piece, we'll send you a mug.
Yeah. Well, we know we can't afford. We actually can't afford that many mugs. Do a wipe down. Oh my God, we cannot
No, I'll
afford
pay
it.
for the mug if you find another piece
That's
on my
great.
face.
Okay, great,
But
super.
it might be a spot. I will tell.
Yeah, don't circle it unless you're sure.
Circle shame me.
Please. Andrew, it's episode 7, and actually you kind of touched on something that I did want to talk to you about because I know we're not exactly a serious pod and I don't mean to get too serious, but
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. No, but you were talking about how, like, it's like, how do you adult? But I actually think, like, we've both been talking about this a little bit in our stand-up, but I'm more like, how do you woman at this point? I'm sorry to be this guy, but, like, I'm so tired of feeling unsafe. Do you feel unsafe all the time?
I go through waves of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm constantly in a state of alert that I feel like some people are, but I feel like I would benefit from being more in that state of alert.
I don't know. It's a really tiring, tense place to be.
It is.
I am. The reason I know this is going to sound really weird, but I've been having really bad back trouble and really bad, like, my feet keep getting really, really tense and I can't relax. I can't unfurl. And it's literally, I think I'm just tense all the time from walking to and from gigs and being in the world and listening to, like, The amount of crap women are going through, and then just being like, "Oh, I don't know how to feel safe anywhere."
I think
and
it's knowing
so
that like we're not
uncomfortable.
safe at any time, but with winter coming in, it's darker a lot more
That's
of the
the
time.
thing.
You're more aware of it, 100%.
Yeah, we're going to gigs in the dark. Never mind coming back from the gigs in the dark. And sometimes you're going very far out of town, and you're by yourself. And I'm desperately trying to learn to drive because I think that will make me marginally safer getting to and from tour gigs.
100%. But I don't drive, but I have this fear of it because do you remember? This is like 15 years ago, so you would have been really young, Andrew, and I don't know if there's a thing in Ireland, but we kept on getting
Would I be
told
really young?
about
I'd have been really young?
You'd have been this
And I'd have been really
you'd
young?
have been about my age.
And I'd have been really young?
But like there was this thing about like people leaving prams in the middle of the road. So you'd stop and pull over because you think there's a baby in it, move to the
And
road,
they'd-
and then someone would get in your car. And it probably happened once, but the way that we were told it at school
Yeah.
made it sound like it happened a million times. So I was
Yeah.
like, you had to run over the baby, but it's a risk. It's such a risk.
Helen's like, I'm just going to drive through the pram.
That fear that someone's going to get in the back of your car. It's like ghost stories, but like they
Why
do
wouldn't you just
happen.
lock your door and not run over the baby?
What do you mean?
Why don't you just lock your door and then not run over the baby?
So get out, lock the door behind you, go
No.
and see if there's a baby in there,
No. Well, yeah.
and then move it to the side of the road.
Yeah.
But then happens if someone attacks you because they know you're going to stop.
Or can you not drive around the baby?
I know, but then happens if there is a baby in there and you've just driven around it. It's like, it's one of those... Did you ever hear about this? Yeah, it's sort of like the dead
Could you-
dog in the
okay.
suitcase thing,
Could
isn't
you
it?
What?
What's that thing like everyone's town has that story about like someone's dog died and then they put it in a suitcase and then they accidentally picked up the wrong suitcase at a train
is just
station.
Flea.
Someone just
No,
had a
nobody else had this. That's 100% just Fleet. But just to circle back, could you do like a drive up to the pram? Could you drive up and like lower your window and go, "Hey, baby"?
Hey baby!
Hey, baby!
So then you're catcalling a possible baby from your car. Hey baby! Hey baby! Hey! Hey baby! Hey baby! Hey! Bossy! Gossy! Hey baby!
That's exactly what I'm suggesting. Can you not just do that?
Yeah, probably.
How about
But that was like a thing. It was a thing that we all heard about.
Wow.
And we were like, oh shit, okay, that's something to remember when we're learning how
But
to
is the
drive.
moral of your story that like,
What do you do?
okay,
What do you do?
I don't know, but we haven't come with that. We haven't done that lesson yet.
I don't know if I have a moral to my story.
Okay.
You'll probably do it like in driving theory exam or something. I don't know
Oh my
when
gosh,
it comes
I have
up.
that soon, so I hope not. Okay, I'll let you know if it's on the theory test. I'll let you know what I decided.
Do you
in the
imagine if
moment.
it is like, and the question has like cassette into it, like Helen Bowers walking down the street in Fleet, Hampshire. There's a pram.
driving? Jen.
Driving. Oh yeah, shit.
Come on, Helen, give yourself some credit. Honestly,
You're
okay,
right. You're
wow.
right. So what I'm saying is that you're driving to be safer, but you never know when there's going to be a pram discarded in the middle of the road.
This is so true. This
And
is so
best
true.
thing you can do, what we were told, is actually lock all the doors, call the police.
Ah.
But then also, how much do we trust the pigs?
Not at all.
How much do we fucking
I
trust
think
the
you've answered
pigs?
your own question there. Yikes.
You're
Oh,
fucked.
what about hailing a bus?
So what you do is you stay in your car, you lock all the doors, and you call your local stagecoach.
Yeah. Because that is the answer to all women's problems. Just hail a goddamn bus.
Holy fucking shit. But yeah, I know what
What
you
is the
mean.
world we
I'm
live
not
in?
feeling the safest, but I wouldn't
No.
say I live in a constant state of alert.
Yeah.
But then it does give me a shock every now and again when I'm like, oh shit, like fuck,
Yeah.
there's someone there. And I'm
Yeah.
very jumpy,
Yeah.
very naturally jumpy on the street. And I've seen people notice it because like if someone's coming up behind me, I'm like, oh.
See, I think I grew up in a household that was like, always be alert, always be terrified. And this was before like I was an adult woman who was allowed out in the evenings. It was like, if you're going to an airport, there's going to be pickpocketers. If you go to the park, there's going to be pickpocketers. If you go to the shopping centre, there's going to be pickpocketers. If you are driving, anybody could stick their hand in the window and grab your phone. If you are parked, somebody at a red light, somebody could open the door and grab your handbag. If you are going swimming, bring your things in a waterproof bag and just swim along with them in case somebody steals them from your locker. Like it was an intense
See, what's
house.
mad to me is that you grew up in that house and then you don't like true crime.
I hate true crime. I do not understand your obsession with this. Like, I actually don't understand how it's genius, right? So, like, women are the majority of the victims in these stories that you see depicted
100%.
in podcasts and on television shows. And I don't understand how we are also the biggest audience for it. Because it's like, okay, it's always us. We're always the victims. It reminds me of how petrified we have to be at all times. And also, women tell me two things. One, that they listen to it because it helps them figure out what they would do in that situation.
Yeah, comfort of
Which is
knowledge.
absolute nonsense, right? Because you can't make yourself stronger than you are.
You also can't plan your reflex. Yeah,
exactly, right? But if anything, it just makes me more petrified of even more scenarios in which I should be scared. But the other thing is, it's like the world has gone, male violence is inevitable, female victims are ubiquitous and also inevitable. I guess we can never solve for the patriarchy, so what do we do? Hey, why don't we sell the other women popcorn? And they can just watch.
But that's what it is. And I don't know why I'm so into it. And there is a level of like comfort of knowledge. And I do feel like I have that as far as being like, okay, so like these things are happening and I am more prepared in that way. Also, like it's that tragedy thing. I think we all seek it out in lots of things that we listen and watch. Like it's outsourcing tragedy.
Isn't your life hard enough? Don't you have tragedy in your own life?
Life is tragic enough. Everyone's life is tragic enough. There's enough hardships in it. And there's something about seeking out something that's so removed from me because I haven't, luckily, touch wood, had any murders in my lifetime. So it's like a removal from the fact that like my mum hasn't called me back in a week, you know?
True trauma. I mean, listen,
real trauma.
I ain't shitting on murder podcasts. I respect the genre.
I love Crime Junkie.
I haven't listened to it.
It's
obviously.
the best one. It's from by Ashley Flowers and her friend called Britt. And every week, Ashley tells her a story about like a famous murder or a murder that has happened recently that hasn't had enough attention so she can get out there in the press. And her friend always acts so shocked. She's like, and this is a story about so-and-so's murder. And Britt's like, no. And it's like they're on like season 20 or something.
It's like a Harry
and she's still just terrified every single week.
I really respect the genre. I mean, as you know, I previously had a podcast about love.
Yes, you did.
And relationships.
Yes, you did.
The audacity. One season, because we broke up. What? And I think the smart woman banks on male violence and not their own love lives. You know, like it's a sensible genre that will go on forever. No one's going to make those women wind up.
There's so many stories.
Yeah,
there's the ones from history.
We'll never stop being murdered, it seems. So pretty reliable stuff.
Never. Also, I will say this for the murder podcasts. They are doing more of like recent stories which haven't been solved, and it does help get the word out there.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
I personally can't listen to murder after murder after murder after murder of women.
I listen to it as I go to sleep. That is how I wind down from my day.
To me, that's like, you're a psychopath.
No, I know.
Like,
but I read the psychopath test and I'm not.
Their name. But like, my girlfriend also watches these horrific documentaries, and then it's just like, should we make dinner? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? How does your stomach not like, isn't not enough?
It's
what are you?
So I listened to the Amanda Knox.
But don't you think it's made us immune to
Crime
trauma?
Junkie last night as I fell asleep, as I went into a soothing, restful night on my Simba mattress.
You don't think it makes us like weirdly immune to trauma? We're just like, yep, that's the inevitable nature of being a woman in the world.
Yeah, but I read Jacqueline Wilson growing up, so I've always thought trauma as like my sort of like outsourcing thing.
Jacqueline Wilson just made eating disorders seem so cool.
Oh, bipolar mums.
Oh my God.
Being found in a bin at birth.
Just like totally normal stuff. Yeah, sure, we should give that to the kids.
Find me in a bin, Mum. Why did you have me in hospital and then keep me?
Oh, what a
my
bad
life
mom.
sucks. And I think it's the same with murder podcasts. You're listening to them going like, no, I want everyone to be looking for me for a week.
Helen,
I don't know what is wrong with me. So like, you know when you leave at night and everyone's
really
like, text me when you get home safe. Let me know that you get home okay. Let me know.
I mean, usually I'm the one saying that.
You say that. Track me. I say it to my friends as well. I think it's a full reflex that we all have.
Of course,
to be like,
and everybody.
Let me know that you are okay on your journey and text me when you get home safe.
We shouldn't
and
have
I know
to, but
I
you
should.
should do
I
it.
know I should. I know I should. However, have you ever just waited to see if they follow up and check in to see if they really care?
Let them know you got home.
Let them know. But just let's see how concerned they really are. So I have a couple of friends who are quite media savvy and like true crime. And part of me feels like if I went missing, they're more likely to start a podcast called Where's Helen Bauer than they are to call the police.
Wow.
And all I want to know is if they did that podcast, I think their first port of call wouldn't be the Uber or the bus that took me home, but it would be my local chicken shops to get CCTV.
So they know you.
And be like, oh, it's all blurry, we can't figure out. Can we just see the receipts of order? Oh, yeah, no, that's 100% her. 5 fillet burgers and chips. Did she say she was meeting people at home? Yeah, 100% that's her.
Yeah, that's our girl.
No, you should message your friends when you go home. You should be safe.
Yeah.
Do test your friendships, though.
Absolutely.
That's my message.
Oh, hey, and if you're a man listening to this podcast, do better, be better. You can help us improve
And I tell you
the
what's
world.
also really annoying is that, like, we are scared on the streets, and it's such a shame because walking home in the wintertime is such a fun thing to do when you're not scared. You know, when you've got like headphones in, power ballad on, and you're like in a fucking music video.
Yeah, it
like,
should be.
That should be one of life's pleasures. And instead, you're like half Celine Dioning it, and then there's a shadow, and you're like, oh, fucking die!
Yeah,
Oh, fucking die!
Yeah.
And it's like, I get that Celine songs do add to the atmosphere. I would like to be walking along to Celine Dion and not have my possible murder happen until the song is finished.
Right? Let's have a little music interval. Honestly.
It's all coming back to me now. Murder, break, and then let's come back in for a bit of Titanic.
Is it too much to ask? But yeah, that's just been bothering me this week. But I mean, it's bothering me every week. So, Sabrina.
Do you have a tracker on your phone so your friends can see where you're at?
No, but I'm so tired. I don't think I should have to be bloody well tracked. It's like the tediousness and the burdensome nature of which we're like,
I totally know
women
what you
should
mean.
solve for this. Like, no, I don't. And I don't know that it would save me if I did, but I'm like, I just want. Oh, so do you know what it is I was walking to a gig yesterday. So I left my house at about.
That, like, this advice is also for men. Please do get trackers on your phones and task your friends to text them when they get home safe.
Yeah, and make sure
it's not all just on women.
Yeah, but so we or don't get a tracker on your phone and just like don't be intimidating on the streets.
Tell you what you do need to have though, which I've learned from murder podcasts. We all need to make an if I go missing file, which is like a little document which you should leave accessible for your housemate, which it just in case you do ever go missing, it has like all of your records on it, your passwords for things, your phone contract, so they can easily find ways, because that's how people lose out in investigations, is trying to like find out their details of their bank and all of that sort of stuff, and like what were they paying, where were they asked to use it. You can leave that all in a file and leave it with a loved one or a housemate so that there is constant access to it.
That's quite smart.
So also so people can see your like private messages on Facebooks and like all of that sort of stuff. Access to your dating apps. Because you've got like such a small amount of time. Oh, it's not me. It was a podcast, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a fun." You know what? One of the things you hear, you're like, "That's a genius idea." I still haven't done it. It's been about a year.
Like in the same way that like people keep telling us to save, and we're like, "Yeah, okay, we'll get around to it." Like
100%.
Yeah, but no,
if
but
I go missing file,
but we should do that. Okay, interesting.
I got such an itchy nose.
Also, maybe
I think just talking about murder.
Maybe a reason to get you to make that file would be that you could also make a list of people you're willing to have make the podcast about your being missing, and people you're not willing to have make it. Like she put in writing she doesn't want your podcast.
That's the thing. If I went missing, I'd want someone like fun to do the podcast, but I wouldn't want them to be like so much fun that we don't do like a sort of like, and she's still out there.
Yeah.
Helen, if you're listening to this, come home, honey. We all love you.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
We can fix this together.
Do you know who I actually think would be great?
Who? Sandy Toksvig.
Oh my God!
No, is that what you were thinking?
No,
okay,
not at all. I was thinking Anne Bauer.
My mum.
Yeah.
Could you imagine my mum doing a podcast if I went missing?
I think
I could.
I really could. I could imagine.
And
her.
it wouldn't even have my name in it. It'd be called Anne Bauer's Daughter's Missing, hosted by Anne Bauer. Special guest, my ballet teacher, Val.
That's amazing. Whereas I feel like if I went missing, you would do the podcast. Whereas Andrew would actually look for me.
Yeah, I think that's looking in two different ways though, isn't it? Because I'd be like, because I feel like you would go missing, but the paper trail would be quite easy to follow.
Why?
Because you only go a certain amount of places. Like you don't go out, you don't get drunk. If we wanted to see where you last were, it'd be at a gig.
That's so rude. I'm just a boring workaholic who has no fun.
You're a real intense workaholic. I'm aware of how that sounded now.
I actually am.
I feel like I'd be able to find you.
Wow, there's a lot to be said for being boring, and it's that when you die, there'll only have been 3 places you
And then
could
if you
have
weren't
been.
gigging, it's so easy. We just go to yours and you'll be baking and be one of your baking nights. But like, oh yeah, sorry, Catherine's fine. She was making a coolie.
Oh, wow. It's such a dire indictment of my existence, but it's also so utterly fair.
Oh no, Catherine went on a spontaneous trip in a car.
As if.
Catherine spontaneously went abroad. Like, could you imagine? Like, we'd find you. We'd find you.
Yeah, you'd find me.
That's a good thing.
So bleak.
Now give me the passwords to your social media.
You don't
I
need
want to
them.
see who you're fucking talking to.
So bleak. Good Lord. I do think that...
But seriously, if any of our listeners out there are missing at the moment, let us know and we'll fucking find you.
Oh my God, yeah, let us know. We could make this like TrustyHogs trail pigs.
That was
like
good.
The truffle pigs that stuff out. Yeah.
TrustyHogs truffle pigs.
Oh my God.
Hunting pigs.
Hunting pigs.
Hunting pigs.
And we can hunt.
I'm
We
so
got
sorry. I
a
think you
snout
have
to
more
find you
pear.
out.
Do I have more pear?
I think you might have more pear.
I got the itchiest nose.
It's gone now.
It
It's
could
gone.
be snot.
You can't tell the difference.
I found it.
Please don't do whatever you're going to do. Okay, thank God. I was like, please, how are you going to find out? Please, God, how are you going to find out? Please don't put that in your mouth. Sweet Jesus.
I'm so disgusting. Andrew, I got pear everywhere. I got pear. You know what? That's a good thing. If I go missing, follow the trail of pear.
Yeah.
follow the trail of snotty little pear pieces.
Yeah,
on the floor. And you'll probably find me at the back of a McDonald's going, it's my first time here. It's my first time here. I've never been here before. I wanted to see what was on the menu. I didn't know it was got a weird menu. I'm rocking in the corner. My first ever Big Mac. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you ever done that where someone's like, surprise caught you eating? I think caught
Yes.
like it's a bad thing to do.
Oh my God, the worst time that this ever happened to me was I was doing the double at the Comedy Store. You know,
Yeah.
when you do the early show and the late show, and
Yes.
between it there's very little time.
Yeah.
And
Do you order food from the kitchen there and eat it in the back?
oh, you're smart. No,
You went to Bubba Gum Shrimp?
no.
No.
We do not have similar lives. I went to fast food
M&M World.
chain.
Oh, Five Guys.
No, Leon. And
They had not the same life.
natural fast food chain, Leon. And I went in and I just ordered waffle fries, but 2 things of them because
Nice,
I
nice.
just wanted some comforting potato.
Yeah.
I am who I am. Anyway, I'm there shoveling, and I mean shoveling.
Yeah, when you're not
waffles.
chewing, you're just swallowing. Yeah.
I'm absolutely pounding these waffle fries into myself. And I was wearing the same dress I wore on Roast Battle. But obviously I didn't have my hair and makeup done in the same way because it wasn't done professionally.
Yeah.
So I look like kind of the same girl, but with such full cheeks. And this man walks over from this table of 4, frankly, good-looking men, holds the photo up to my face and goes, and this is how shit I look comparative to how I look when somebody else does my hair and makeup. He went, "Is this you?"
Oh, God.
So I had to chew for quite some time, then swallow again because my mouth was dry, and then say, yeah, but I'd had my hair and makeup done.
my God.
And I honestly wanted to die.
Holy shit.
It was mortifying. Also, sorry, you tell me about one time that you were
No,
interrupted.
but why is it so mortifying? I have the same reaction. Like, if I'm... So, like, obviously we eat a lot by ourselves because we're,
Yeah.
like, out in the evening or out
No,
town.
it wasn't mortifying because I was by myself. It was mortifying because somebody was holding up a photo of me from a television show, which should have been like a peak moment, whilst I put fistfuls of crisscrossed potatoes down my own gullet, like forcing them down so I could get more at the
Like a
front of my
pelican.
mouth. Yeah. And then I had to be like, yeah, that's me. That was what was mortifying about it.
I feel like I still panic. Like, even if it's just, like, and the other comics come in and I'm, like, there half through a burrito, I'm like, oh, hi, guys. Hi, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, how did this get here? I don't even like food. I'm scared of it. Like, I don't know
you're
what
right,
it is.
you're
I think
right.
maybe as a childhood of secret eating and, like, trying to pretend that I'm not
Yeah.
hungry.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
like it's like like brainwashed into me. So like if
Yeah.
I'm like backstage and someone else comes in and I'm like eating, I'm like, I'm disgusting. Oh,
Yeah.
what a stupid bitch.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird.
Yeah. I also feel like,
And I don't have that reaction to wanking.
good for you, girl.
Like,
good for you. If
know what I
you-
mean?
do you wank in the green room too?
Like if
You gotta stop that. You gotta stop it.
No, but like if I
No,
was
just
like,
in Bubba Shrimps.
if I'm at home having a wank in my room, I mean, that sounds with Sunil, but like if Emma came home and I was having a wank, I'd be like, I'm working, don't come up. Like, I'm in my room, but like,
Yeah.
she like walks in.
Yeah.
But with, if I was eating in the kitchen, I'd be like, oh, really quickly, finish it, she's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
see
yeah,
me.
yeah.
It's so stupid.
It is
It's like a
stupid.
shame thing, I
That
think.
is stupid. But also, don't you think as well, like part of it's when you have had any sort of secretive eating patterns in your past, but also it's like obviously patriarchy and womanhood. But I do also think that like if you're a bigger woman, there's some sort of like it's not an imagined judgment. People are more judgmental.
I think that is also
of
part
you
of
eating
it.
in public,
100%.
and it's not like, and it's fucking outrageous.
Because I got thin last time I went. Well, when was the last time I went thin? Must have been like 2014. Dyed my
Right.
hair dark brown as well. I went for like
Oh.
a new thin aesthetic.
Gorgeous.
And what was I doing at that
Is it
time?
aesthetic or aesthetic?
Being thin. That was my whole thing.
Okay,
That was my
yeah,
whole thing, was
yeah.
just being thin. And I was so excited when I was what I considered to be thin,
Yeah.
because then I could gorge myself in public and do that thing where you go, I'm going to really advance metabolism.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
gain
yeah,
weight.
yeah.
And I did that for the best 2 weeks of my life. I was thin and I binged, and then I was back to where I started. But what a 2 weeks. To be thin and bingy in public, I think is one of the best privileges that people don't realize
It
they
is the
have
privilege
it
of
while they're
thinness.
doing it.
It's the privilege of thinness is that nobody's observing what you are eating in public. Oh my God, the TV will be turned off in 1 minute due to the TV.
That's what happens when women talk about food.
Wow, we get heckled by the television. No, but I do think there's
Anyone watching on
there's
YouTube, the TV just said in 1 minute it's going to turn off because me and Catherine have been talking about ourselves too much, and Andrew does that to try and change the subject.
It's so rude.
Prove me wrong, Andrew.
No,
I
but
can't, but I definitely didn't do that. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, because then I feel bad.
oh, you
Good, you
guys.
should.
No, okay,
You
I'm
can-
Hey, Helen, here's a question. Is it aesthetic or aesthetic? I thought it was
It's
aesthetic.
aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why you've added the extra syllable there.
Because it says A
That is how it's spelled, yeah.
A
Yeah,
E S.
but it's
A S.
aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
Yeah.
Well, we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning. So like it's fine for you to eat in public, but don't get a word fucking wrong. Do you know what I'm saying?
know,
It's like that's absolutely fine. It's like because I will shame you for that, Francis. Sorry about it.
We were just talking about not shaming things. No, it's good to learn. Aesthetic.
I think when I shame you, you should say, "I'm telling Francis," and then
I'm telling Francis.
and then I'll be reminded not.
I'm
to
so
do that.
telling Francis about this.
No, but I do think it's a public shame thing, and I think it's nonsense, and I think it's for bigger people, it's also women, like that horrible thing where they were like women eating on tubes.
The Facebook page.
Get fucked. Like, hello, that's all I can do is eat my
And
dinner
then
on public
people tried to
transport.
go like, yeah, but it's difficult for everyone because there's that Facebook page about men wearing red trousers on the tube, and it's like, it's not the same. Because they were just shots of their legs.
Yeah.
And eating on tubes was like you and your face and physically eating.
And it was also about actual shame around it, like taking in food, and it's like, but also, if I didn't eat my dinner on the train, I would never eat my dinner because, like, hello, have you seen our jobs? Oh, fuck off! It's so annoying.
So what if it's dinner 3 on the same journey and you've
yeah, that's
obviously
none
had
of
the
their
first 2?
business.
So what?
It's none
So
of-
what if it's a full roast hog that I'm
Yes.
roasting on the train
They're stackable
and I'm
boxes.
turning the spit?
They're stackable
So
lunch boxes. What do you want from me?
So what if I'm choosing to eat lube instead of a pudding? So what?
You gotta stop spit roasting on the chin.
So what? So what if I'm Frubing? If I'm Frubing, I'm Frubing.
Yeah, froob away. Oh my god, I
Frubing.
forgot
I'm
about
talking about
froob.
frubing as a sexual act and not the actual froob.
Is it a verb for sex too?
Frubing is when you go out after a good night dogging and you go around, you collect all the used condoms and you froob them up.
You're lying.
It's called
You're
frubing.
lying.
And it is a
You're
delicious
lying.
high protein
You're
snack.
lying.
No, it's real. It's
You're
real.
lying.
It's genuinely
Andrew,
real.
Is she lying?
Google it. On my life, it's a thing.
I've never heard of this, but I can Google it.
But I haven't done it.
Nobody goes around to collect. No, stop it. It's not like minesweeping for drinks, but with condoms.
Yeah, and you sort of froob it up. Or you can just do it afterwards just to show a guy how much you respect him.
Fuck
Fucking
off.
respect him, man.
Frubing is
Oh.
not. Andrew, it's not. It's not a thing.
Read it.
I mean, there's frubing, and then there's urban frubing, which is what Helen just described, according to Urban Dictionary.
Which is?
So urban frubing is finding the used condom, and then frubing is just the penis itself, just like getting every last drop out.
Sick. So we are not here to kink shame. We fully respect you. Whatever you want to do.
No, that is disgusting.
I am here to kink shame. Yeah, I was like, Andrew, I am here with you. That's absolutely revolting. That's repulsive. No. Okay, well, on that note, shall we get a guest on?
So what if I'm frubing on the tube? So what?
Hey, we have the most amazing guest today. We're so excited to have him here. He's a lovely boy. And
I love him. I don't know what to
You're
say.
good friends. We're so excited.
Good friends.
Yeah.
Good friends.
Darren Harriott's here. We're very excited to talk to him. Let's bring him on in.
Hallöchen, Darian. I don't know. I said Darian.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, God. Oh, Andrew, cut it.
I will be leaving your mistakes in.
Yo, it's time for some promo for some live gigs.
That's hell.
I will be doing some work in progress shows.
Me
So will
too.
Andrew, so will Catherine. So we're just going to
Yay.
chuck some dates at you and then we're going to go home, put them on our website / Catherine's already done it and
I have
Andrew's
already
probably already done it, but I'm
Yeah.
going to do
I've
it when
done
I
it,
get...
yeah.
Okay, Andrew, like, it's really passive-aggressive, babe, so just let me speak my truth. I will be doing split work in progresses with Catherine Bohart. You know, the Irish one who's like fun, but every now and again it's like, what's her deal? I will be doing
Wow.
shows with her on the 31st of January and the 7th of February at the Camden Comedy Club. Pre-warning, it will be an hour of each of us. So like, come fed and watered because it's like,
Yeah, that's
it's
a lot.
amazing how
That's a
quick you
lot.
can die from exposure when we're both screaming at you for that long. Also, I will be doing my own shows without Catherine. So if you're like, Helen's great, but Catherine ruins it. Come
Wow.
on February the 6th. This is at Volts Festival. Or
I'm
February
gonna come.
6th.
I'm going to come and ruin it.
Don't you fucking dare. I swear to God, if you
I'm
come
coming
to
to
one of
ruin them.
these, I will shit in your bed.
Wow.
I will shit in your bed.
What if I'm into that?
Are you?
No.
That would be amazing if we found out that Catherine's
It
kink
would be
was
so
shitting in her
enough. That's my first
bed.
one. We don't have time for this. No. What else are you doing?
February 6th, February 16th, February 20th at Volts Festival. And then on the 1st of March, I'll be doing a work in progress at Pleasance because apparently I refuse to leave London. But then I will be doing Leicester Comedy Festival, Brighton Comedy Festival, a lot of different festivals. I'll be coming your way.
Amazing. I'm doing
Tell
some
me
work in-
about you.
I will, because as I've said, I'm going on tour, so I'm working progressing the hell out of my show until February. So
Please.
November 12th, I'm in Bishop Sutton. November 13th,
Where?
I'm in Fareham. That's right, I leave London. Oh yeah, that's right. November 16th, I'm at Top Secret in Covent Garden. November 18th, I'm at Nottingham Comedy Festival doing a work in progress. November 20th, I'm at King's Cross 2 North Down. December 1st, I'm back at Top Secret. And December 4th, I'm in Monkey Barrel. December 5th, I'm in Monkey Barrel. They're both in Edinburgh. December 7th, I'm out doing a work in progress at the Pleasance in Islington. And December 8th, I'm in Shoreditch Town Hall doing a work in progress. That's a double header with Stuart Goldsmith because sometimes I need a break from the headache that is Bauer. December 11th, back at 2 North Down. December 15th, I'm in Forest Arts Centre doing a work in progress. And then it's the new year. Ultimately, all of these are on my website at catherinebohart.com. They're already up there because I take my job, I guess.
Oh my
pretty
God,
seriously.
get a
So, like-
life, you fucking loser. Where do you fit in time to go like trampolining?
What?
Never mind. Andrew, where are you going?
Just a one date to plug because
You choose your personal life and I respect you for it.
I'm at Top Secret on the 15th of November, which is the day after Gigless Live on the 14th of November. So
Oh, Stay overnight.
yeah, make it a little
He's
double
staying
header.
up.
Standupandrew.com/tickets for all the info.
Holy shit, what a dream.
Okay, great.
Literally a minute ago you were saying I was a king. And I've just fallen so far
You are
down.
the queen.
Thank you.
You are. You're up there.
Thank you.
I say
the
no,
basement queen.
I
You're
say-
the queen of the basement.
The queen of the basement.
I say very nice things about both of you when you're not
Wait,
around.
we're not here.
Lies.
I've heard this.
I do
No,
that a lot.
genuinely.
Lies.
Like I think I
I
was
do.
having lunch with Fern and she was like,
Fern.
Darren is so lovely. Like he loves
Lies.
you. All he does is sing your praises all the
I was
time.
talking
And then
about Catherine
whenever I
the other day.
see you, you're like,
Lies.
fuck you, fucking Helen, fucking stupid bitch. And it's
All
like,
I ever talk
where?
about, when I,
I am
talk
like-
about Darren, I'm like, I hate when we're on shoots together because it means you have to dress up.
What? I'm not dressed up today.
It's
Your
no,
fashion.
this is fine, but it's rude. Like you're supposed to go there and worry about the other women, but instead you're like, for fuck's sake,
Here
what
comes
is he-
Darren with an
Yeah.
outfit.
Oh my
Here
God,
we
it's
bloody
like-
go.
Honestly, as if it
New
wasn't hard
shoes, they
enough
always
already.
are.
Yeah, they always are. They
I've
always
got some
are.
really nice shoes on today.
Of course you do.
I've got my zebra print.
Oh, I have seen them before, so I guess he re-wears. So that's
Yeah,
And look
yeah.
at these tie-dye jeans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Get it
Holy
all in.
Oh my God.
That's hot.
I'm too Irish. I'm like, did you buy them with a hole in them? That's an outrage. An outrage. You want your money back for them, Darren. Now
I've got jeans that nearly have a hole in them because I fell over recently and scraped my knee.
Oh.
Yeah.
the same.
I know.
I
It's
imagine
like-
you falling over, you know, like when Peter Griffin falls over and he holds his knee for it. Ow!
It's really sad she fell over and then everyone in Chinatown laughed at her.
That's how you know. That's a good sign. That means,
Everyone coming out of the restaurants to be like, look at the stupid girl. And I was like, ah.
but that's how you know you're not old. Because I feel like if I fell over, people would help me.
No.
I think
You're
I'm
not
at-
there yet.
I think I'm at. No. Because it's all grey around here. If I fall over, they fall in.
Are you
There
getting
was-
grey stubble?
Oh, grey bad, yeah. That's why That's why I've started shaving it all off now. Because around here, it's all,
Really?
yeah,
I think it's very
grey.
distinguished.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Like a senator.
Yeah.
But I want to do that thing comedians do where they lie about their age for like 5-6 years.
You're hoping to do that?
I think I can do this. So I'm 33 now, but
Yeah.
if anyone asks, I'm 27.
Really?
I think I'm going to do that, yeah. I'm going to change my Wikipedia page.
So
I'm the opposite.
30,
I'm trying
but
to make
I could have
myself-
said it too much.
I've said that I'm older than I am so many times by accident because I feel
that's a good
old.
trick.
But then I think that is the trick. I think just keep saying I'm like 36 and people are like, wow,
You look amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look amazing. And you're what, 40, did you say?
I am 40,
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 now.
Wow.
Wait, so can you go on and edit your own Wikipedia?
Yeah, there's
Have
comics
you
who
ever
have
done
it.
that? Oh no, I know there are people who have done it.
There are people who've written
say,
their own.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
they've done
So
it because there's too
tragic.
much information.
Yes. It's like,
It's
nobody
why-
knows.
I mean, I don't have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
So why does your Wikipedia say your blood type? What's
Yeah.
that about?
Exactly. It's like, come on. It has your childhood drawings on there. That's amazing.
But do you ever like think of the Wikipedia page as a marker of success? Like I
No.
think it is a marker of success, even though I know people start their own. But I was on, oh my God, what was I doing? I was on my school's Wikipedia page to see if anyone successful ever came from my school.
I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah,
I was
I was like,
in,
you're
yeah,
waiting
people
to
were
be
talking
mentioned.
about like this person from my school, this person from my school, and I was like, oh shit, like I don't think we had anyone
Yeah.
apart from like a couple of people that went to like low league football
Yeah,
sort of
sure.
thing. And I went on it and I was like, yeah, like I want to make it onto this page. Like it suddenly became like a dream. I have no idea, but it became like a thing in my head.
If I was on my school's page, I would message them and ask them to take it down. I'd be like, fuck you. You hate me then, I hate you
all
now.
I'm saying is that when someone's listening to this,
Yeah.
can you please put me on the Courtmore School in Fleet, Hampshire, notable alumni section? There's
Nice.
5 people.
Who are the other? Oh, footballers.
Footballers,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
footballers,
We've been over
and a high jumper who was the year below
Oh,
me.
come on. You're not even on there. High jumpers
Yeah,
on
come
there.
on. At least you make money. That's
I don't think
tragic.
there's any creatives on it. There's no
That is
creatives.
tragic.
And
Wow.
I want to be there. I want to be there.
I want
you-
it for you.
Do you know editing Wikipedia pages is one of the hardest things you can do?
But how do you do
Why?
it? I don't
So
understand.
on my Wikipedia page, it
And
had...
how do you know this?
Because I spoke to my... Because I went
he's
on my...
edited it.
Because I've edited
Yeah.
mine.
I literally went on my Wikipedia page, and my Wikipedia page had everything from my first Edinburgh show from a few years ago, and it said stuff like he used to be in a gang and carried a knife, and talks about gang violence, and I was like, what is this on my page?
oh my
So I messaged my agent, and they went on there.
Sorry, did you say that in your show or somebody just decided
No,
that?
I didn't say it like that in the show. I
Okay.
talked about it a bit better, but it clearly read like somebody had just read a
Picked
few
up things
cliff
from
notes.
reviews.
Yeah,
and
And
stuff.
then put it in my show
Yeah.
that my comedy is about gang violence. Like, what?
Yeah.
What is this? What am I in the mob? So
Yeah.
then,
I also love that for you saying, because every time I've seen you recently, you're talking about Britney Spears.
Hey, sometimes he does Uncle Ben stuff too. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Exactly.
You're diverse as shit.
There's going to be some really disappointed people
Yeah.
expecting gang shit.
Like
And I,
disappointed hard men as well. You don't want to
and
disappoint
then
them.
I
Hit me, baby, one more time.
break down the Britney Spears meltdown. So what they said Wikipedia is super strict, and you can only edit it a certain amount of times before they completely cut you off from it. So like whenever you want to edit it, it's the way they tell me about editing it. They're like, look, you can't just put anything you want, and that's why pictures as well. So if you look on everyone's Wikipedia picture, it's always the pictures of them on like a red carpet or something. You can't put headshots in. There's no headshots allowed. So that's why everyone's Wikipedia page,
Wow.
the photo of them is usually one that's horrible because it's
What's
not.
your photo?
I don't think there's a photo on mine.
I don't know
My
what mine
God.
is.
Wait, is it just like info?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, I want to look up yours now and see it.
Let's not. Let's not.
Do that. Can we get it on the screen behind?
No,
Can we put-
why?
Let's
No.
fucking
I mean, what is
wow.
the point of having a producer if you can't get it up on the screen?
Yeah, can we get things on the screen, but specifically not that?
I don't know.
Andrew, that seems
Can
like
you get Catherine's
seems like a great
first
time
comedy
to find
set
Found
on
it,
the
Catherine
screen?
Bohart Wiki.
No.
Catherine Bohart
There's no
is an
picture, check it
Irish
out.
stand-up comedian, writer, and actor based in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Her alma mater, so uni,
Yeah.
Royal Central School of Speech and Drama.
Yeah.
You occupation comedian, yeah, blah blah blah. Your height,
Go
What
to
did they
personal
say for
life.
height? What did they say?
5'5".
It's 5'5.5", but I'll allow it.
Go to
Okay.
personal life.
Personal.
That's where
What
the
does
juice is.
I feel like Darren's written my personal life. He's like, go to personal life. I put some good shit
I'm
in
just
there.
gonna be honest. It's out of date.
I know what it's. I think I know what it's saying.
It's too sentences and it's out of date.
Okay then.
Bohart is bisexual. Full stop.
That's not out of date, but okay.
She previously dated. Oh, previously.
Previously?
Oh,
Come on.
Wait, no.
Updated.
There is. Okay. She's previously dated Sarah Keyworth, a fellow stand-up comedian. They met in 2015 and lived together in Kilburn, London. And you did live in Kilburn.
How do they know my address?
That's really weird, but you did live in Kilburn.
But how do they know
put
my
that?
address? That's
I don't know.
terrifying.
It's just a weird thing to put. They lived in Kilburn.
But also, Darren could have written that because he lived on the same road.
Oh my God, career after struggling as an actress.
Oh, that's fucking brutal.
After struggling with her miserable career, Bohart transitioned to stand-up in 2014. That's
You can
and then
tell
it's
the same
got all your
person didn't
credits.
write my
Christ, is
personal
that how
life.
you got into stand-up? Because you were failing as an actor?
No, I
That's what
was
it says?
depressed like everyone else. That's how you start.
Oh my
How you
God.
start.
Okay, I am going. Oh my
Wow,
God.
savage. Please tell
Your
me.
early life. Bohart grew up in Clonsilla,
Yeah.
Ireland, the daughter of a
so weird
Catholic
they know
deacon.
this.
She has obsessive compulsive disorder and was hospitalised in St Patrick's University Hospital for 4 months. Why have they put the hospital?
I'm telling you, this is all from what you put in Edinburgh shows. And you
you
know,
didn't say which hospital.
No, that's terrifying.
No, but you know when you do all those interviews you do
Yeah.
about your show, they take a lot from that, and we say a lot of shit in those. Well, go on mine.
I'm literally doing it right
Wait,
now.
wait, so
Mine's
it has
fun.
nothing about my gang time? Crazy.
Oh, what, the time he went to Brownies once?
Yeah.
This is really going to
And then
depress
left
me
because
now.
it wasn't, Darren's got a picture!
Why would they
Yes,
use that
let's see
picture?
the picture, let's see the picture, let's see the
That's a
picture.
horrible picture.
Let me see
That's
the
one of
picture.
my first headshots ever.
Oh, I thought you said headshots weren't allowed, Darren.
They must have took it from a different thingy because it's
Let me
not.
see.
Look at that.
Oh, it's so much hat. It's so much hat.
Let's have a look.
It's like a black halo.
Oh my god, I've got that hat on.
It's like a
You've
little
got the
black
hat on.
halo.
It does look like a black halo.
And
I love
That
it.
was me fighting hairline as well in that.
Oh, that's hard.
Okay,
That's tough
oh
to
my
watch.
God, this says a lot about Darren. It
Tell
is
us.
all career. There is no personal life.
That's how you know I got my agent to have a look at it.
You have clearly had someone have a go with it.
What does it say at the top?
Harriott has toured the UK with his shows Visceral and Good Heart You.
Oh, I
It's
also
good.
toured
It goes straight
Defiant.
in. Okay, at the top, it's a British stand-up comedian from Albury, West Midlands.
Hey!
He was in-
Oh my God, what was that?
It's actually got my area. No, it used to say Birmingham.
Oh,
He was
is that 'cause of
nominated
your
for
voice?
Best Newcomer
Yeah.
and Best Show Award at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2017 and 2019, respectively.
We're just bragging for Darren now.
It
What are we
just
doing
says
here?
your-
Why are we doing this?
It just says your date of birth
Yeah.
and your website. It has no height. So can you say your height on this and we can see if it gets on there?
I'm 6'1.5".
6'1.5".
That doesn't feel true.
It is. It is. You got to add the half.
He's gotta add
If I
the
wasn't a
half.
half, I would have just said 6 foot.
And
then you know
without
it was-
the hat,
I'm-
6 foot.
I want to get something else put on this
That
to
is
see
so
if this
much better.
works.
I swear, it used to say Darren was in a gang and carried a knife and talks about gang violence
Can
in
someone
his
go
comedy.
on this and edit in Darren Harriott's Wikipedia page, personal life, Darren's gang member?
In from Birmingham.
I dare someone to put that I am related to Ainsley Harriott.
Please, can someone go on it and say he's related to Ainsley Harriott?
Harriott's son was
That is my
formerly a
first
gang
search.
member in
If you type
Birmingham.
my name in on Google, that's the first thing that comes up. Is he related to Ainsley Harriott?
Stop.
Yeah. I tapped it in and I was so angry.
Wow.
But neither of you are linked to your schools.
No.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I think it's a thing.
I hated my school and they hated me back. But let's talk about how Darren's from Birmingham and that should be corrected.
From the Black Country. It's west of Birmingham.
It all
it's very
sounds
different.
the same. It's
It doesn't-
Birmingham.
This is getting very racist now. Black Country is very different. It has its own history, it has its own day. Black Country Day has its own flag as well.
I've stepped into something I didn't
Red,
mean
white,
to.
black. It has chains as well. Could have something to do with
Let's
slavery.
talk back
Might
to
not.
how
Does it actually?
Yeah, it pretty much does.
It's got chains on it?
I mean, it's the flag is black, white, red, and it's got chains going in between. And obviously, it's known for its chain making. You know, sort of.
Yeah, but it just doesn't
That's
feel good.
not ideal.
and it's from the
the
1800s,
black
1900s.
country as well.
Oh,
That
that's
doesn't-
subpar.
It was called. It was called the Black Country because it was one of the most industrialised parts of the country. So much so there was soot in the air on a constant basis, hence it being called the Black Country. Also, there was black people, and you couldn't really tell if they had soot.
Also,
'cause of all the-
lovely zoo in Dudley. Shout out to Dudley Zoo,
The zoo's whack.
Yes,
where
I
you
do.
can go and see.
But yeah, visit the
dead
Black
dog.
Country. Go to the Black Country Museum. It's voted one of the highest rated places on TripAdvisor. Give it a go.
No, can you take me? I want to learn.
That's not a good metric. I went to.
What do you mean?
No, because my brother and I recently went to Cornwall separately, and the most.
Jesus. I know.
Separately.
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 I know what you're thinking of is going
We're
on
not in
here.
a relationship.
We don't get along like that.
I would date my brother, but he would not date me. He's dating a redhead, which is so rude.
I know, he's obsessed.
Is he good looking?
Yeah, he's
Peter?
gorgeous.
Can I see a picture of him? Come on.
We'll do
Yeah.
that after. But here's the thing: their highest rated thing on TripAdvisor is a tunnel that people have just made the #1 tourist attraction in Cornwall.
What sort of tunnel?
It's a shit tunnel, but they've made it the feature to and like thing
That's
to go
really
to
funny.
because everyone takes a photo being like, "This changed my life. I've seen the Northern Lights, but nothing's like this tunnel in Cornwall."
Was it a
It's
troll
like-
job?
Yeah, it's incredible.
okay.
It's
They're
incredible.
trolling it. It's
I
like when
wanna
they had
go
that.
there.
It's like when they ran for mayor and you always had that. What's that guy's name? Captain Binface or something?
Oh yeah.
Binhead,
What was his
Buckethead, or
name?
whatever his name is.
Buckethead.
Stuff like that.
Two
kills
very
me.
political minds in the room, I can tell.
Look at us! Look at us! Look
Big
at us!
face bucket basket man.
Damn right, you libs. Sorry, what side are we on?
What's popular with the people? What's popular with the people?
Not that side.
I want to be relatable.
Do
Hey,
we
can
have-
I? Oh, sorry, you carry on.
Go on.
Can I ask you guys a question as female
Always.
comedians? I have
Yeah, yeah.
loads of
Does
questions.
it have to be as female comedians?
Can I ask you guys as humans who do
Sure.
comedy?
No,
and
ask
have-
us as you were going to, as female
as-
comedians. I'll
as
only
female
answer as a
comedians.
female comedian.
Because I'm kind of obsessed with this question, right? So, whenever I speak to different female comedians about who their comedy icons are, there's always this whole thing about
Darren
like,
Harriott.
I know, that's what I was going for.
Dylan Moore.
And
What's the
they
question?
always in terms of female. So obviously I really love fashion, right? I
Yeah.
am a bit obsessed with fashion, and I always used to pay attention back in the day before I was a full-time comedian how female comics would dress when they're on TV, because I noticed that a lot of them would really sort of dress down on TV.
Used to be the case.
As opposed to what they would normally sort of want to wear on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was talking to some other acts, and I said the first female comedian I remember seeing on TV doing stand-up, I think it was live at the Apollo, or maybe Michael McIntyre's, dressed like really dressed up.
I know who you're going to say.
Me too.
Who are you going to say?
Andy Osho.
Andy Osho, yeah. You said Andy Osho as well. Okay.
Fucking like an actual
Great.
proper like
was mental,
night
wasn't it?
out
But she doesn't get the credit for that.
No.
she doesn't, because most people,
so
I think a lot of
funny.
people would have been thinking Catherine Ryan.
That's what a lot have said, Catherine Ryan.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you guys noticed. Yeah, I think it was like a black kind of like
I
a
think
gown?
I also had a reference to me recently.
Oh,
like
okay.
someone sort of being like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so, because like I naturally dress down.
Yeah.
I'm very much a comfort person. My fashion knowledge has never been that great. Also, I grew up fat, so like I've just never had like that many options as well. But now I'm just sort of like, it is fun dressing up on stage. But I think we do have to think sometimes that if I go on stage really dressed up, then it does hit differently sometimes, the jokes. Like
Absolutely.
people
It
do
does.
judge
Absolutely.
women faster as to what they're wearing than they do men.
But also there's this weird thing where I think there was a time gone by where if you wore anything other than jeans and a t-shirt as a female comic, you were like not a serious comic.
Yep.
And now there's this unbelievable pressure to be gorgeous on television while simultaneously being funny. And if you're like, there's no winning in it either. Like if you have Botox and you glam up, you're not a real comic.
Yeah.
But also if you look like casual, you look awful. It's just frustrating.
You've got to look attainably gorgeous and sexy in a non-threatening way.
Yeah.
Non-threatening
Yeah.
is key.
Non-threatening, sexy, casual, attainable, but flawless skin.
but funny. And
but
also
really funny.
Yeah.
Of
But also
course.
never going to be funny enough for a lot of people
Yeah.
as well.
Yes. I always give Catherine Ryan obviously a lot of credit because she didn't really give a fuck. She'd dress up. She always went,
Joan
above-
Rivers too.
Joan Rivers
Yeah.
as well. I always remember, because I remember watching Joe Brand. Because when female comics talk about like the comic, okay, this is another question, right? Female comics talk about the comic that they look at when they go, so she walked so I could run,
Yeah.
in a way.
Oh
right?
yeah, by Doth the Cap. Everyone has come
Who's the
before me.
comic that? No, but there's always one. So the one that I hear a lot from other comics is Sarah Millican. Like Sarah Millican is like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
one who they all look at and go, she will. But I never hear people say Joe Brand.
Oh, I would
Because I
definitely
think Joe Brand went through so much
I
shit
think she did.
For sure.
as a female comic in the
completely
90s.
agree.
It was mental.
I completely agree. When she was, did you hear her Comedian's Comedian?
I didn't, but I have
No,
read
I
her
haven't heard
book.
it.
It's, I mean, it's phenomenal. But she's definitely the one I think who paved
Yeah.
the way, and she paved the way for like so many different types of comedian as well,
Yeah.
because it wasn't just like. She paved the way for female material as we understand it. So like talking about her husband, but also like being dry as shit wasn't something women got
Yeah.
to be. Being mean wasn't
Yeah.
something women got to be. Being fat wasn't something women got to be. I mean, I
It's
think she's
Joe Brand,
phenomenal.
it's Sarah Millican, it's so many, and it's so many who weren't put on TV because at that point you were only allowed one successful woman,
Yeah,
and they picked, and it wasn't a case. So now one woman's allowed to be successul every year.
Yeah.
Back then it was one a decade.
In fairness, though, you guys had way more than black. It's been Lenny Henry for 40 years.
That's so
Completely-
true.
completely-
That is so
completely
true.
agree with you, but we're not-
Even now, I'm competing with Lenny Henry. It's brutal.
I completely agree with you. I also think
so right.
But also, it's so funny that like there still isn't a blackface on every panel show, but they're also always like, often the person who is the blackface also has to be the female face, also has to be the queer face, has to be. And it's like, I'm like, how are we still in a situation where it's not half and half women, and then that the issue isn't making sure we have more like cultural, or I think also like, I guess in this country you would call it class diversity.
Yeah.
Like we're still stuck on like the first one. Still 5 dudes.
Can I ask you guys about class? Sorry, I'm just.
I love that you've come on here like we're wise, which is the premise of the podcast, but also ultimately untrue.
Loving
go on,
this
okay, go on.
right
Question.
now.
Okay, I was talking to someone about class today, right?
I think we all have those conversations about 5 times a week, right? I mean,
Here's my
it's every
thing.
It's also
culture.
important to say I come from a country where it's not as
Prevalent.
No, it is, but it's not as overtly understood as class.
Helen, do you work in class?
No, everyone always, I'm middle class.
Are you middle class?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think I'm middle class.
Okay. Well, tell us why you think you're middle class.
Because my parents both work.
Yeah. Okay. But what kind of jobs are we talking about? In
And-
terms of like good jobs?
Well, my dad
academics?
works in sewage, and my mum is a learning support assistant at a school.
Okay. Did you have like loads of holidays as kids? And...
Yeah, that's why I say middle class. We could
Okay.
afford to go on the school trips, and we went on holidays. And I'm from North East Hampshire, which is a very middle class area, suburbs of London.
Okay, fair. Here's the thing. Do you think that you can stay? Because this is what I'm kind of annoyed about.
This is why I'm so like.
I hear a lot of
attainable.
comedians, rich comedians,
I'm
Talking about how
attainable
they're
and
working
relatable.
class.
and I'm like, you can't be working class. You're a millionaire.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You can be working class minded.
Yeah.
You can have
Yeah.
working class guilt.
Yeah, you
It's
can come
poverty
from-
porn.
It's
poverty
mental to
porn.
me.
It's poverty
Yeah.
porn.
I'm
It's
not
when
going to say any
people-
names.
I'm really glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that because my parents were incredibly working class.
Yeah.
My and my dad had 3 jobs when I was in school. My mom worked 2 jobs, and they became middle class by the time I was probably a teenager. They worked so incredibly hard, and they also fucking revel in being middle class now. In fact, they
Yeah.
have so much money they don't know what to do with it, by which I mean they have any money and they're just like, take it, and it's like, just keep it for 2 seconds. He can just keep it for 2 seconds. They're like, it's so, I don't know. Anyway, they're incredible, but like I don't count myself as working class because I grew up in a middle class environment, and also I am like because of all the opportunities I've had.
Yeah.
Like I almost think like if you had the opportunity to make money, to go to university, to like to see the world, then it's really impossible for me to consider myself that, and it would be farcical. But the idea of being a millionaire and still referring to yourself as working class,
But not even
or even
that.
owning property and still referring to yourself as working class, I'm like, lads, also, do you know what I think is so insulting is that to most of our parents who were working class, for us to be middle class was the dream.
Yeah.
So to then like shit on it annoys me.
No, yeah, because I see it all the time, and I'm like, hold on a second. I'm probably a stereotypical working class. Dad was a drug dealer, died in prison when I was a kid, blah, 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 all that. Mom, cleaner. She used to finance my clothes for school, pay every week for clothes.
Yeah.
Had a loan man come to the house,
Yeah.
a scary figure that would loan money. Yeah, proper working class. Anyway, I am no longer working class in terms of what I earn, money, what I pay.
Were you one of the cool EMA kids?
EMA £30 a week, mate!
Yeah. I don't know what that acronym is.
Educated maintenance
I
lad.
didn't go to school here.
It's when you don't have enough money at home, so they give you like £30 a week as a kid.
But if you turn up to
Nice.
one lesson late, you don't get your EMA anymore. So if that happened, I just skipped the rest of the week. I was done.
But they handed out EMA at our college, but they also, because it was 1,500 of us in a
Aye.
year group, they couldn't keep tabs on us. So you had to put your own attendance in online.
I say what you want, yeah.
Fucking morons!
Big up Labour, yeah.
EMA!
Aye,
It was
aye.
all sent
Tony Blair,
in
Gordon
like
Brown.
chicken shops, like everything. It all went to the
Telling you.
fast food chains around the colleges.
Here's the thing, right? I was thinking about this the other day without sort of bragging. I was looking at how much tax I'm paying, and I was like, I am paying middle class tax in terms of how much I'm paying. And I'm like, if I'm paying that in tax, there is no way I can call myself working class at all. I still have working class guilt. I still send my mum money and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, because my mum still doesn't own a house and she works full time.
Yeah.
But I'm reading these comics talking about how like they're middle class and working class, and I'm like, you're a multimillionaire. The money, I understand that in terms of the mentality, you can still have the working class mentality and all that. I get all that, and the guild.
But I'm middle class, and I can have a working class mentality I inherited from my parents. But I went to my siblings didn't. But I went to a private school.
Yeah.
Yes, my dad worked 3 jobs. Yes, I was the poor kid in that school, but I wasn't poor. And it's like also, why do people? It's like people think they get some sort of moral cookies for identifying as working class, and it's like you actually get more points from me for acknowledging what you have.
You know what it is though in comedy, because there's this whole thing of trying to get more working class voices and all that sort of stuff, and people seem to hate on the middle class, and a lot of it started off. From what I saw when I was starting comedy was when like the Jack Whitehalls were rising and people were just like, oh, he's a posh boy. He's typical. At the time, it was everybody used to say the T4 hairdo comics. That was back.
When was that?
I mean, we're talking 2008, 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
Right, that was big. Everybody would say, oh, he's one of those T4 hairdo comics and this posh boy.
I love T4. I went T4 on the beach, Western
Of course you fucking did.
Lily Allen when she was still doing the prom dress and training.
And great look. And everybody was just hating on those comics. And here's another thing that I was thinking about. These comics, they all have really nice cars. A lot of them. Like a lot of them have sports. Some of them have sports cars.
We can't drive.
Yeah.
But
Stop looking at
but here's the thing. They have like really nice sports cars, but they would never let their audience know that they drive what they drive, because they seem to think that they would lose their audience because they're playing poverty. And it's like
poverty porn, yeah.
We know you're not poor. If you've got 3 TV shows and you're selling out tours for like 1,000 people, you're really rich,
but
man.
people are desperate. It's like I'm saying
Just be
relatable.
honest.
Everything's a mess.
That's what I like
unrelatable.
about Mickey Flanagan, right? Mickey Flanagan, proper working class. Mickey Flanagan opened one of his shows and he goes, I got myself a leaf blower. Yeah. Because I just have to blow away all this money.
Yeah,
It's just upfront. I'm rich. I'm not the poor guy I used to be. And it's fine. You can show that growth. It just bugs me when I see comics who I know are very rich saying that they are working class. It's like, you're fucking not, mate.
I got reviewed, the 1 hour I did at Edinburgh, I got reviewed as being a working class comic. In like 2 or 3 reviews, even though I said I was middle class in the show about 3 times after that happened, because I was
class. You can't be working class.
Middle class.
Class.
I'm like, you can't be.
Are you getting on the bus, Papa?
Papa, I'm fucking North East Hampshire.
Yeah.
And then
Hampshire,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But it's also that thing of being like, don't use this as you ticking a box being like, oh, I finally went and sought out some working class talent, because you're in the Pleasance courtyard. You are not seeing working class talent here. If I can go to the Free Fringe, make an effort and actually go see stuff, like felt like they were just sort of like, oh, this is easy. And I was saying to my agent, like, it doesn't make, I don't know why they put me in that box, because it's not like I'm talking about anything. And she was like, I'm telling you now, it is 100% because I didn't go to university. And because my dad works in sewage, and I mentioned they worked in sewage on the show, and they're going to assume that's terrible. Fucking poo is like a fucking dream business.
It's never going out of business.
You're constantly shitting. You are constantly shitting, huh?
That is true. My friend's a bin man, rolling in it.
My dad was a bin man as well, and then he quit that to be a lawnmower at Chester World Adventures.
Nice.
And then he went into sewage.
Love to see it.
There is a lot. I think in comedy as well, there's a lot of people who there's a lot of sort of middle class comics who haven't really had much hardship in their lives, who are just trying to find a USP.
Thank you.
And it's anything at all that they can sort of grab onto.
My tits are too big.
I'm so pretty.
My back.
But also, like, there's also often people who are the opposite, who have had hardship in their lives, but are still trying to tick every box. And it's like, that almost makes the true parts unrelatable, because you're like, just talk to us about what we built.
I know, this
and
is
also
the point of this conversation,
bullshit.
but I am so going to rebrand as working class now.
I think you should.
Rebrand?
I'm fucking doing it. I'm rebranding. You don't think I've got a brand already?
I don't think you need to
What is
rebrand.
your brand?
I think you
My
could
brand. My brand is a crack and rack.
A cracking rack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
my
that's a
brand.
solid brand.
I mean, it's a good brand, but don't you on stage talk about how one is not as good as the other?
That's true of every woman, Darren.
Yeah, but she says it on stage. She actually outs her flaws. You can't do that. You're gonna have to say
But it
that they're
makes
both.
me relatable.
Yeah, they're so good. She has to do them then on stage, or else people wouldn't be able to listen to
Those
her.
women will turn away.
They'd be like, she's too perfect.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I've got to be like, one of them's got like a funny.
I can't look directly at it. Yeah. No, stop. Hey, Andrew, do we have a problem from the listeners that we need to solve?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
do, yeah.
Can I also say before you begin, I like the fact you didn't introduce me. We just
We
went.
did it. You weren't even here.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was he reading from your entire Wikipedia page not sufficient adoration for Darren
Sorry, can I
Harris?
just really quickly before we do this, Andrew, just ask you as a male comedian, do you
Yeah.
always feel the need to point out something we didn't do before we move on to the next segment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great, carry on, Andrew.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Andrew. Let's do this thing.
Well, we'll keep it comedy related. We've got
Why not?
Please.
yeah, this listener, I, we'll use the initial I.
Okay.
Um,
Hi,
They ask, how do you convince yourself to drop a bit you are proud of writing, but it's too niche for 99.9% of an audience? So, have you ever written stuff that is
Yes.
inaccessible, but you really like?
Yes.
I feel attacked.
Do you want to go?
I don't.
Darren?
I don't drop it.
It's yeah. I think you get to a point where, and it takes a few years where you just don't care. Because it depends how long the bit is. I mean, if it's like a 2-minute bit, then you're probably gonna drop it. But if it's if it's something that you enjoy and you know that there's always at least one person, because I think it all comes down to how good are you at dealing with the silence on stage.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna get the silence, is it gonna freak you out? Are you gonna lose your shit? Are you gonna panic? Or are you just gonna go, it's fine. I did it for me. Don't worry. There's more coming that you'll enjoy. I've got a bit for everyone. Don't worry.
I have a 10-minute routine on the TV show Dance Mums, which never aired over here. And you have to watch it in clips. And it was all about there's one of the mums who's like super pushy with her daughter Kendall, and she's trying to get her to play the part of Rosa Parks, even though there's one black girl in the group and she doesn't get any major parts. Nice. And the teacher's like, well, we don't know who's going to get it.
Oh my God.
The classic scary spice. I find that with TV as well. I've been thinking a bit about this show that I watched that was just awful. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Drag Me Down the Aisle.
No, but it sounds
like
really good.
No, you wouldn't like it. So
I think we might.
What it is, it's a show. Basically, someone thought of the title and they went, this is great, this is genius.
I'm into it.
No, it's not good.
It sounds coercive.
Okay, I'll tell you. So the
arranged marriages between adults and children. I'm trying to think of what could it be that would be awful.
Why did you say I want to watch it?
Drag down the aisle. Just a 4-year-old girl pulling a 60-year-old. Like, we're doing it.
Basically, it's about these women who want to get married, right? They're
Which woman doesn't?
Right, they're planning on getting married, and then they want confidence from drag stars and drag performers, right?
No.
So what they do is they get 5 drag performers.
How have we not heard of this?
Have you not heard of it? They're like American drag artists, right? And they turn up and they're exactly what you expect. They're sassy and catty as fuck. But the woman is usually quite meek and a bit like really silent and quiet. And then they sort of dress her, try and give her confidence and all this stuff. And when you watch it in the end, you realise she doesn't care about her wedding. It's just about her hanging about with drag stars. Because
that's her actual dream. I love this for her.
Yeah, because all the advice that they give her...
I will change my entire personality and get engaged just for a chance for this class.
all the advice that they give her, she doesn't take any of it. She just has a normal, boring wedding. And it's just because she wants to hang out with drag stars. And it's one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
What channel?
Drag me up the aisle.
I think it's on TLC.
You have
the Learning Channel? I love the Learning Channel.
Everything.
Oh my God.
I watch 90 Day Fiancé religiously. I'm going to watch...
Yes.
Come on, get in.
Married at First Sight?
Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight was amazing this year. Amazing.
Your bit is too niche. Darren's right. If it's just like a reference to it really quickly, then keep it in because it's really fun for those like couple of people that do get it, and also a bit of fun for you. And if it's something that's super, super niche, but you think it is worth it, sometimes the explanation or something people don't know can be really funny.
I was gonna say, I don't think there's a topic too niche. I just think there's writing that's too niche.
So that's the thing. I think if it's something that you're like, this is so worth the joke. If people don't know about it, sometimes just explaining the premise of something can be really, really funny.
I think what you do is an interesting blend of especially stuff that's quite niche. Because I always say this to you every time. I say the connection you have with women in the audience is unlike anything I've ever seen. Because I've literally seen you do your routine about the kebab, being a woman trying to get a kebab and whatnot. And I see guys. They're just like, okay, but women are losing their shit, and then eventually you get everybody on side because it's just a force of nature as you go through it. But for a lot of people, that begins, and I've seen it, I've watched it, I've seen how niche people are with it at the beginning because it's one of those things you talk about. But women are 100% on board with you at the beginning, and then men immediately jump, and then you've got a few other routines that again I think is quite niche. But you really
talk
sell.
at length about Pokemon Go. There's no audience.
Are you talking about Pokemon Go?
I've actually dropped that a little bit because it is super niche, and also it turns out my best stuff about it is fucking dark as shit. Because I'm just gonna say it here because otherwise it'll never meet the light of day.
Go on.
So Pokemon Go, you play it by walking around and you spin Pokestops, which are like significant sites. So it can be like anything from like a pub or like a theatre all the way down to like a fancy post box. Yeah. Okay? But included in that also include memorials.
Oh, God.
So like
That's
war
funny.
memorials.
That's funny.
And like the 7-7 memorial in Hyde Park.
Wow.
No.
So you spin it and you get a gift to send to someone around the world. And you send it, but you have to send it with a sticker, which is often something like a Squirtle going, yes! Or a
Right.
Pikachu going, oh yeah! And then you send
Akbar.
the 7-7 memorial
Oh my God.
along with a super happy little Squirtle.
In your set, that's
funny.
hilarious.
And there's just something so fucked up by the fact that like there's people going and playing Pokemon Go and they're like, where are we? The Holocaust Memorial spin.
Send
9/11
that.
memorial.
Send
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But also,
But then the explanation of Pokemon Go, that was said really boringly, but you can make
just need
it
to
fun.
cut it
That's an
down.
example, but there's a fun way of
I just
explaining
think
it. Like,
said quicker.
Or just say I stopped playing
Quicker.
Pokemon Go because, and then there you go into it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because it
but
is like a few years old.
I think
now,
that's
isn't it?
right. Like, if it's like,
So every now and again, you get a bit of material that you fucking love so much, you just don't care what the reaction is. You're going to do it.
I had that with a bit from my first show, Truman Show, which was like hit and miss, but I loved it so much.
But also, I think it's worth finding a person who doesn't fit into the niche, and if you can explain it to them, you can probably explain it to an audience. Which
Yeah.
is why I used to have a male director who was a bit older than me, and it was really useful because I would say things throwaway, and he'd be like, "What the hell do you mean by that?" And then suddenly I'd realize there was a gag where I didn't think there was. So like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, lesbian," because lesbian sex goes on forever, and to me that's intuitive, everything that's built into that. But he was like, "Sorry, what?" And so I
That's
think
the
that is a
thing.
story about how a man got me to explain lesbian sex to him.
Nice.
And
But
not
that's
actually
a really good
joke.
point. Actually, maybe
damn.
just sit down with a fellow comic.
But yeah,
and
I do
just
think you
sort of
can-
like one that you definitely know won't get the reference.
Yeah.
And just chat it out with them, and through the explanation, something funny will probably come.
I don't mind that as long as you're saying that you're chatting out a bit of material. But if you,
Yeah.
if you
Oh, no, but
try
that's what I'm
and
saying, go with
if
a fellow
comic
comic.
tries to do material on me, I fuck it. I mean, I can tell immediately when
Hey,
they're like. So then I said, I'm like, what? You don't
Yeah.
talk like. What
No.
are you doing?
the
Hold
stand-up
on.
sketch show, and then he said,
That is so fair. Or when you're both doing a bit of banter and then suddenly they do it on stage and you're like,
Oh yeah.
100%. Did we solve it?
I think so. I think so, yes.
I
yeah.
saw your little face popping up, and I was like,
So is that-
we've solved it.
Is that one of your listeners sends in?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What's it called? Do you have a segment? Is there a name for that?
It's just the advice section. 'Cause with the trusty hogs, you trust us with your problem.
problem. Thank you, Darren Harriott.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this. Yay. Round of applause, Andrew. Yes.
I want to thank the Patreons. That's what I
Yes.
want to do, Catherine,
Thank
because
them.
we have got so many more than I thought we would have. I'm genuinely overwhelmed.
Thank
So
you.
I guess I'm going to read out the producers first, because you guys are babes.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to start with Harald van Dijk. What a classic.
Yes, Harold.
We've got David Walker. We've got
Thank you,
Jess and
David.
Nick. We've got SBDubz. We've got Neil Redmond. We've got Kierah Leach. We've got Anthony Conway, Claire Owen-Jones, Emma Walton.
Whoa.
What a legend,
Whoa,
Emma
whoa, whoa,
Walton.
whoa.
We got Zoe.
Thank you,
No
Zoe.
second name.
Wow.
Why do you need it?
She's like
Why
Madonna.
do they need it? Lee Myerscough.
Yes.
Cough or Goff? I'm going to say cough.
I was guessing Myerscough.
Myerscough. Okay, Lee Myerscough.
Well, let us know. 'cause if
Correct
it's
us.
cough, we don't
Correct
get it
us.
wrong. Yeah, please.
Tim and Dom. Richard Bicknell.
Tim and Dom
Richard
still going as one.
Bolt.
Tim and Dom still being one producer, just singular.
You've got to be
That's
supportive of them.
fantastic.
Be
Thank you,
supportive,
thank you,
please.
Tim and Dom.
Karen Bull, Rachel R, Sadie Cashmore, Victoria Hutchison, and Elle. And then we have an Irish name.
You can do it. Go on.
Kim Dubhghaill, or Kim Dougal, or Kim, I'll read it as it's spelled, Dubhghaill. Catherine, would you like to,
I bet I just
for
said-
anyone who's concerned that I'm really being moronic, it's spelled Dubhghaill.
Okay,
Catherine.
Kim, Gurv Mila Mahagut. We really appreciate the money. Thank you so
Giva
much.
Magullas.
No, and we're going to say one last time. We'll say sorry about Helen. Tá Bronerm is Amadani. Okay, off we go.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
I have no idea what's happening.
Don't we have an exec producer? Oh, I just called you an Egypt to Kim.
I want needy.
No, an Egypt.
Egypt. Okay, right, yeah. That's all right, because that doesn't mean anything to me, because it's not technically a word. I also want to say massive thank you to our executive producers.
Whoa,
oh my God.
executive level.
Technically our
Thank you
bosses.
for your money. Thank you for the money. Thank you for the money.
Guy Goodman.
Yes.
and Simon Moore.
Oh, lads, thanks. You guys are all heroes. And thank you to everyone who donates anything at all. We genuinely couldn't do this without you. This podcast is finally starting to pay for itself, which is so cool. We're so lucky. Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to go build a bear, baby. I'm going to build me a bear.
No, we don't get paid yet, but that'll come. Guys, thank you so much for donating. Please, if you can't donate or you can't afford to donate, please tell 5 people, because that would be amazing. Tweet about the podcast, Instagram about the podcast. That means so much.
Thank you to those of you who have already told 5 people. We know who you are and we really appreciate it. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
If you do want to donate, patreon.com/TrustyHogs. For £3, you get early access to all of our episodes. For £5, you get that plus extra episodes, an extra episode a week. For $10, you get those things plus 10% off tickets and merch. For $15, those things plus a signed poster. £20, all of that, plus you get to be a producer and get a free mug. And for £50 a month, I guess you're insane. You get to be an exec producer. You get all of those benefits. You get a mug and you get a personalised episode.
I will
for
come
you.
and share in your bed.
And Helen will not come to your house. And I think that in and of itself is a benefit.
Shit in your bed.
Please follow us at TrustyHogs on all social media. That's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the only ones because they're the only ones we're on. Email us if you have a problem. Trust us with your problem at trustyhogs@gmail.com. And please review us. And thank you for all of your ratings so far. They really make a difference. Yeah, tell a friend. Thank you for listening. And
God
thank
bless
you.
us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for the sweet, sweet cash. We love you.